This amazing Renaissance fresco painting has some subjects that might look pretty familiar. This was painted by the famous Sandro Botticelli. Yes, that would be the same artist who painted The Birth of Venus. Even though it was probably painted around 1483, it was only recently discovered in 1873 during a renovation of a villa near Florence, Italy. I love this painting and the story around it for so many reasons. First, it makes sense that this was found in Florence. At the height of the Renaissance, Florence was the place to be. Just about every famous artist you know from the Renaissance came, or better yet, was developed in Florence. Why Florence? Great question. Florence in the 15th century was like New York in the 50s and 60s. The place to be if you were an artist or creative. Florence became the heart of creativity because the city, its citizens, and rich families, like the Medicis, poured tons of money into training artists, building projects, painting commissions, you name it. Artists flourished simply because they were supported and epically appreciated. This painting, called Venus and the Three Graces Presenting Gifts to a Young Woman, was found in the former home or villa of a wealthy family who probably commissioned Botticelli to paint it. Apparently, he used the daughter of the house as his model. And as you can tell, I think for Botticelli, she was the definition of beauty. It's believed this painting depicts the celebration of an engagement, with the emphasis on the act of giving rather than the gift itself. Since this is a fresco, it was painted on wet plaster, a very popular method during the Renaissance. The positive was that the paint literally would soak into the wet plaster, where a chemical reaction would take place, infusing the pigment into the silica and lime. This is the exact same method Michelangelo used on the Sistine Chapel. The negative is that you have to work very fast before the plaster dries. It also involves precisely mixing some rather dangerous chemicals, so you have to be experienced. The thought was that these paintings would last forever and never have to be moved. But often the colors would fade after drying in the plaster. And what if you did want to move the painting? In this example, more than likely, styles changed and the new owner wanted something different. So, not being able to take the painting down, he simply had someone plaster right over the top of it. I love looking at this painting in contrast to his most famous work, The Birth of Venus. It feels like Botticelli found his perfect model for Venus, and after painting this fresco, he decided to not only use the same female subject, but also use the exact same pose with the head. If you look at the two female figures in the painting, with their heads bent slightly, it's like Botticelli is testing to figure out how much of an angle is just right.